Hello and welcome back to Cultural Geography. As mentioned before, I will be making video lectures to accompany this chapter in your textbook. However, this video will only highlight some of the key points in the chapter and not all of them. Therefore, it's your job to be responsible for the materials covered in this chapter of your text, as you will be quizzed on this material as well. In this video lecture, I will introduce concepts of migration and Ravenstein's law. So on that note, let's get moving. So migration is the permanent change of residence by an individual or group. Mobility, all types of movement from one location to another. And circulation is a type of short-term, repetitive, or cyclical movements that occur on a regular basis, whether it's daily, monthly, annually. So these are some kind of key terminology that you should know and understand. So here's a great map illustrating daily circulation of workers. As you can clearly see, most people don't live in Manhattan, but they go there for work. As you can see, on the right-hand side, the map is the population during the day, and on the right-hand side is the population at night. And the population is indicated by these red bars. So most people work there, they don't live there. So emigration is migration from a location, and emigration is migration to a location. So at the top we have, for example, your home country. If you're leaving your home country, your emigration. If you're going to a country, you're going to be immigrating there. You're going to be an immigrant. So for an example, if you live in Germany and intend to move to the United States, you emigrate from Germany and immigrate to the United States. They sound similar, but they have different meanings. So this is a cartogram map that shows the world immigrants. In this case, the cartogram map distorts the size of a country relative to the number of outbound immigrants. So this is a quick and effective way to see which country has the most number of immigrants. So we can quickly see that Mexico, Russia, India, and Bangladesh and China have some of the highest number of immigrants by the size of the country. Each box represents 100,000 immigrants. So for something for you to ponder is, why do you suppose that's the case? Why are so many people leaving these countries? Again, this is a cartogram, but this one shows the number of inbound immigrants. And here we can see the United States, Germany, and Russia appear to have many immigrants. Again, why do you think this might be the case? Why are so many people going to these countries? So there are two types, or main types, of migration. There's internal and international. In internal migration, people move within their homeland, be it from one town to the next or across the country. This may take the form of moving from one level of density to another, such as rural to urban or vice versa. So this map illustrates internal migration of the United States. For example, areas of bright red indicate a large net gain in migration, while dark green indicates a large net loss in migration. So this map is from 1995 to 2000, which explains the large increase in migration to Nevada. During that time, there was a huge housing boom, and the housing market was going crazy in Nevada. Lots and lots of people were moving there, particularly from California. International migration involves crossing international borders. International migration can occur over relatively short distances, such as Mexico and the United States, or between member states of the European Union, or can involve moves to an entirely different continent, such as South America to North America. So those are the two main types, internal and international. So what type of migration is this? Interregional migration or intra-regional migration? This is interregional migration because it is the migration from one region, the West or the Midwest, for example, to another region. Here is another example of interregional migration. The reason for this migration is for employment, where people are moving from rural to urban areas for employment opportunities. An example of intra-regional migration would be if you lived in the Pacific Northwest and moved to a different location within the Pacific Northwest. So now let's turn our attention to the last, is Ravenstein's law. And the geographer Ravenstein developed a series of migration laws in the 1880s that form the basis of modern migration theory. And there are 10 of them. Number one is the most migrants only go a short distance. So most people aren't going from large areas of South America to the United States or Africa to the United States. They're moving short distances, whether it's interregional or if it's from Mexico to the United States. Migrants who do move far tend to choose big city destinations. Why do you think that is? Employment opportunities is probably the biggest driving factor there. Urban residents are less migratory than rural residents. The general trend has always been moving from rural to urban, and the reason for that is for economic job opportunities. So once you're in the urban area, you're less likely to move to a rural area where there's less job opportunities. Most international migrants are young adults. The reason for this is, again, economic. They're looking for jobs. Most migrants proceed step by step, meaning that they don't make these big, long journeys. So if you're going from one country to another, you make smaller steps along the way to your final destination. It's usually not one big step from your beginning location to your end location. Step-by-step process. Large cities tend to grow by migration rather than natural increase. Major cause of voluntary migration is economic, as we pointed out in a lot of the steps 1 through 5, economic reasons, jobs. Females are more migratory than males within their country of birth, but males frequently venture beyond, again looking for employment. Migration increases in volume as industries and commercial development and transport improves. And the usual direction of migration is from agricultural areas to centers of industry and commerce. And we'll look at some of those examples coming up in the next lecture. So on that note, that ends a little introduction of what migration is, some different types of migration, and Ravenstein's law. See you next time.